Hi, my name is Meenal Patel, and I'm here to show you how to use Excel to better manage and analyze your surveillance data. The data that I'll be using today is fake data that is part of a measles training case study, and so none of the data contained within is real. Anyway, let's get started. The first thing I recommend doing is going to format your entire table. And so here you click on this button and you can pick whatever format you like. But what this does is it highlights all the columns and the rows that contain data. Just double check it, then click OK. And now you've applied a format. And what you can see here is that um, it's applied a filter to every column and made it visually easier to read. The advantage of this is that now you won't missort your data. A filter button, which is on top of each column, if you select it and click down, for example, over here, here it's showing you the secondary administrative levels of the cases of suspected measles in the country. And you can see that there are 4 districts. And so you can either select them all. If you uncheck this, they're all unselected. You can click one, and then you only have the cases that are in that one area. And this can be done for all of the different filters in this on each column. For example, here you can choose a date filter and you can see the different years that you could have. Okay, so let's get started. In the case study, the first request is to evaluate the date of notification as it compares to the date of investigation. So over here, we have 2 columns, the date of notification, the date of investigation. So the first thing is you need to insert a new column. So you highlight the column, you right click, and you go down to the insert, and a new column appears. So now that we've created a column, now we need to provide the proper format for it. So you highlight the column, you go to the first tab, and now you want to format this as a number, because what we're going to do is calculate the difference between the date of notification and the date of investigation. So now it's formatted as a number. And now all you have to do is type an equal sign, type the first number. So you just highlight that cell. That's the first thing you want to subtract. And then the second thing. And now you just hit enter and it'll calculate it for every single row in your database, as you can see. So now we have a column that shows the difference between the date of investigation and the date of notification. We should relabel the column. It can be whatever you'd like. I'm going to write difference in dates for ease. And now you want to see if there's anything weird about this. So the first step is to down click, and I'm going to just sort from smallest to largest just to see what it looks like. And now I can very quickly see that I have 2 cells that are negative dates. And that means their date of investigation is before their date of notification, which is impossible. You should review the case investigation form for any potential data entry errors and or talk to the investigator and correct as needed. For this exercise, you don't need to do this. The next thing that the case study asks you to do is to group the cases into different age bands. So you can see we have a date of birth in column E, we have a date of rash onset in column G, and in order to do that, we first need to calculate an age. So again, you highlight the column, You insert a new column. You should label it. I will call it age. I'm going to highlight it and again, format it as a number. And I'm going to subtract the date of rash onset from the date of birth. And I'm also going to divide it by 365 so I can get the age in years rather than the age in days. And now I have the age in years. You want to check if there's any missing dates of birth. And so the next thing to do, because the calculation for age will be incorrect, is you come here to date of birth, you unselect all, you find the blank, you hit OK, and you see it made an error and it made a calculation. So here, just delete those ages that are not supposed to be calculated. Then go back and either re-highlight everything, or up here, there's a filter option and you want to clear the filter. So again, you can see all the data. So now you want to create an age group. And so the first way of doing that is you insert a new column, you label the new column, and now there are one of two ways. One, you can just sort this from top to bottom and write it in a way I'll show you. But a better option, especially if you have tons and tons of cases, is you go here and you go to number filters. And now I want to choose the number filters between two different numbers. A better option is to choose the filter button, then choose a number filter. You can see the different options. And here I'm going to choose between. I want everyone greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1 year of age. Now I have every case who's under 1. And I just type in under 1 year. I now come here to copy. I highlight all the cells I want to copy the value into. I paste it. And now we have under 1 year. You repeat this over and over for each of the age groups. So now I have everyone categorized into one of the different age groups, except I have 3 that I have no date of birth, so I don't have a category here. You can leave it blank, or you can type in unknown age, and then copy and paste that. Now, the case study asks you to look at the vaccination data. Just as a reminder, here we've coded 9 as being unknown vaccination status. So, in order to do that, the easiest way is to create a pivot table. So go to the Insert tab at the top. You click on this button. You say Create a Pivot Table. It'll highlight all the cells in the table. You hit OK, and it'll open up a new sheet that looks like this. This is where on the left the data will show up. Here is a list of all your variables. And now at the bottom, you can see row, column, filter, and value. And I'll show you how to use this. So here in the row section, we want the number of MCV doses. So we go, I think this is it. We put it here and we see the number of MCV doses as the row. And for the value, we want to pick something that counts every single person in the entire data set. I know from before that every single person in this data set has a unique identifier. So I add that here, and it's now the count of all the rows in your data set, 151. And when I look here, I can say that 96 people have 0 doses of vaccine, 13 people have 1 dose, 10 people have 2 doses, 25 people have an unknown vaccination, and weirdly, 1 person has 22 doses. As we know, it's really kind of impossible for someone to have had 22 doses of measles vaccine, and that is probably an error. The way you figure out who to go back to is you go back to your data set, and now we go over to the measles vaccine column. We click the down button and we can see 22. We unselect everyone. We select the person that has 22, and there we go. And now you scroll over, you see which case investigation form to review, and on reviewing it, as I said, you only have 2 doses. So here we're going to make the correction. Don't forget to go back and unfilter. Whoops, sorry, you need to have your cell highlighted within the table to unfilter. Go into the filter tab and clear the filter. So now you're back to the original data set. Now that you've corrected that data, if you go back to your pivot table, it's still there. Well, you have to go up to this tab and refresh the data, and it disappears. And now we have 11 children who have 2 doses of vaccine instead of 10. The case study asks you to evaluate vaccination by age group. So you drop age group into the columns, and now you have a table of age group and vaccination status. You can see, looking at it, that it looks in line with what you expect, except you do see that there are 2 children under 1, for example, who have 1 dose of vaccine. That could be possible because maybe they got vaccinated in another country. Maybe they were vaccinated in country as part of an outbreak response. There are a variety of reasons that this could be possible, and so you leave that be. Now, one of the questions asks you to find the level of completeness. Here, you can remove the age group, and you can quickly say that there are 25 unknown plus 6 blank, which should also be coded as unknown, which is 31. And so you just quickly say 31 divided by 151 is 21% of cases have unknown vaccination status. The other thing I'd like to show you is how to filter on top of your pivot table. For example, one of the questions asks you for completeness around sample collection date. So here, this should only be done among those who are laboratory confirmed, are discarded, or are pending, as that implies that they have a laboratory test. So you add final classification to the filter, you click down. You could select one, but here you want to do multi-select. Unselect everything, and select the 3 classifications that are relevant, as I said, discarded, measles laboratory confirmed, and pending, and click OK. And now, if you'd like to calculate sample collection data among those, you have to remove vaccination status and add in sample collection date. Now you don't quickly see blank. Highlight the plus, and now you see blank, and you see there are 21 of 38 who have no sample collection date. The next question that I'd like to help answer is the question 15, which is what is the timeline of cases by week of onset? When you look at this data, you'll see there is no week of onset. There's a date of onset, but there's no value for week of onset. So you need to create it. So in order to do that, this is the date of onset. You're going to, again, create a new column. You're going to format it as a number. You're going to label it. Now you're going to write equals week number, put it in Russian for you, highlight, add a parentheses, and then highlight the cell for which you want the week number, close the parentheses, and hit enter. And now you can see that, for example, June 8th, 2023 is week 23. So now if you want to create an epicurve by week of onset, you now have that. You can do the same thing. There are many formulas within Excel that let you calculate the year of a date, the day of the date, the month of the date, whatever you might need for your purposes. Just be aware this data set that we have here, this only is data for 2023. If you have multiple years, you're going to need to create a week number and a year number so that you can tell the different weeks apart. So now I go back to my pivot table. I am going to first refresh the data. I'm going to remove my last ones. You can do this by down clicking and clicking the X, or as you saw before, you just drag it away. I still am going to keep the count. So the next question asks for a timeline of cases by week of onset by district. So now I've removed the rows and columns. And now, since I want this to be exclusively among measles cases, I go to the filter on final classification and I select everything except the discarded: measles laboratory confirmed, measles epidemiologically linked, measles clinically compatible, as well as those that are pending as they are equivalent to clinically compatible while we are waiting for the test results. And I want to graph those. So that's 131 cases. The next, I take week and I put it in the rows. And now I have, for every single week, how many cases are in Shymkent province. And then, oops, I'll add the secondary level here. And this is the number of measles cases for each of the districts, as well as the total count for Shymkent. I will copy this. I will make a new sheet, paste this. And now now we want to graph this data. So I highlight what I want to graph. I go to Insert. I click the XY scatter plot, the one with the lines. And now you can see the measles cases. You can add X and Y axis. You can change the label, but you can very quickly see, for example, that Abay Aidani had an outbreak in the beginning of the year, in the beginning of the weeks, and then and Bekshi Aidani has an outbreak that's increased quite a bit recently. And maybe it's going down, but maybe it's too soon to say. Other regions, for example, Al Farabi has only one case, and other regions have just a small number of cases. So I hope this little tutorial is able to help you more efficiently manage data from the surveillance system, as well as to analyze it. I do recommend that if you have other things you're trying to do in Excel, Googling them is a great way to find out how to make your job more efficient. Okay, thanks so much.